Right, it's an early one. Nathan and I are walking down the pontoons, and today is the day we say goodbye to the Donzi. So the Donzi's been here for decades, I think, or a decade. But we're walking down the pontoon and we've got to go move her over to the crane, and she's being shipped out to St Lucia. So we'll get onto the boat, we'll trim the engines down, and we'll give you a quick look around before she goes. So this is a 3-engine boat, so I've got 3 keys here. So I've just put the isolators on and put one. I guess the keys probably aren't special. Well, they might be actually. One would imagine. Maybe that one goes in there, that one goes in there, that one goes in there. So I've got the batteries on. I'm just going to turn ignitions on so I can trim the drives down. So you've got 3 engines, all of which trim on that one switch there. Clear the pontoon. I checked that before I did it, before anyone says. So yeah, they're going in. We're now on this for the sea trial. I mean, it is rapid. It's it's a what? 60 knot boat, Nathan, did this? 60 knots. Great dash setup, and it's been really looked after by the owner that we've sold it for in the UK. So let's give the engines a fire up. We're in neutral, kill cord's on, port engine, middle engine, starboard engine. So yeah, all 3 engines fire up. So the ignition's alive now, Nath. So just watch those controls. I always say that to everyone on board because these electronic controls do worry me a little bit because they're just so easy to knock. So yeah, 3 engines. We're just going to ditch these lines, and then we'll just let those engines warm up a minute. And we've only got to go to the crane over there, so we haven't got to go far. Still got a few bits of the owners on board, so we're just going to take that off. But as you can see, this is a weapon. It really is a brilliant bit of kit. You've got a stainless steel anchor there. Quite unusual for the UK, this type of boat, I have to say, but it's been really quite interesting selling it. And it just goes to show the variety of boats here at One Marine we can and do sell. It was all reupholstered a couple of years ago by the owner with new covers made. The new owner, In Torquay, has actually supplied us with a cover for the top. Needs a bit of adjustment, so we're not going to fit that, but she's going over to a truck today. And she's also then got forward in that little cabin there, a little cuddy cabin with a toilet as well. So actually this type of boat is pretty usable. We'll fold all the covers up nicely, we'll put them away. We'll speak to the driver of the truck to see what he wants to do with regards to taking all the cushions off and stuff. But we'll pause for a minute, and then we've got to get it through this gap here. I don't think it's got a bow thruster actually, so I'm sure we'll be fine. So we're going to go through that gap there, and then we're going to drive literally just straight over the other side of the harbour, and the crane man wants it starboard side too, which is good because that's the side of well, there's no fenders on actually. We better find some fenders, so we're going to go just over there. So keep watching, we'll get it through that tiny little gap, and we'll go from there. Right, we're ready to go, we've got lines off, and Nathan's just going to take that starboard side stern line off. So even though it's got 3 engines, it's only got 2 levers. You're going to ask me which one controls the middle engine. I'm not quite sure until we start going, but I don't envisage we'll have much of an issue. We've got the wind directly behind us, so we're all good. So we're just going to put the starboard engine into ahead, all 3 engines, can't say both, are all ahead. So that's just that starboard side engine I can feel. Okay, so it's very, very controllable. I'm just literally going to walk it out now on the levers. Any of you notice I haven't got my kill cord? No, I haven't at this second, because I actually find when you're manoeuvring in a marina, it can cause more issues. But I'm just going to walk her forward. You can see here, we're just coming out of that gap I showed you a second ago. What we'll do is we're just going to go slightly more starboard ahead there, just to bring the bow round. Might even go out backwards, you know, because sometimes these big outboard boats, it's actually easier sometimes just to do things in reverse, because you can push and pull that stern. So you can see the berth, we've even got this lovely conditioned squadron there on our port side. Yeah, I'm coming out stern first, so I'm just going to stick my nose into where that V48 is, and then I'm going to come out stern first, out through the gap there. Very actually easy to manoeuvre. I haven't touched the wheel once. I'm literally just walking the engine, as I said, just walking the boat all the way forward. Haven't touched that wheel once. What I am going to do now is, Nath, can you just hold the camera for me a sec? I'm just going to wheel to port, and I'm just going to use that outside engine, that very outside engine there, just to start pulling the background. So I actually just stopped filming there because it was difficult to judge the distance on that bow, so I asked Nathan just to go and check it. No point trying to be heroes. So I'm just coming out of stern now, really super easy. I've used the wheel a bit there just to pull the stern round. And if you notice, we're going very slowly. There's no need to be rushing, there really isn't. We've got the wind going that way, so there's no point in going too close to these boats on the other side here, because we'll end up encroaching on them. So we're just going to come out of stern. Like I say, we've never put any RPM on these engines whilst we're doing this manoeuvre. It's all been done at tick over. So it just goes to show you it's super calm, super easy. We got 2 of us on board. This boat, what is good about this Donzi, it's very easy to walk around. So like when I asked Nathan just to go walk up forward and check our bow on that yacht, it's really easy to do that. What I'm doing now, I'm just coming back past our sails berth. Got a bit of way on now, a bit of momentum because we want to get out of that gap. And I'm just keeping an eye out, make sure there's no fishermen leaving the quay there, which there isn't this morning. And then I'm just going to bring the wheel round to starboard, and that's just going to bring the bow around. You see how quick this boat reacts. It really does turn quite quick. I mean, it's pretty impressive, to be fair. So we're going to head now over to the crane dock now. Because the wind's going that, we're actually going to be shielded from the wind. As soon as we go in the lee of that pier, we're going to be shielded from the wind. So not that this is probably a helpful thing really, but it's just bearing that in mind. And I can tell that from the water. So if you can see here now, we've got a slight popple on the water. You can see where we're sheltered there with the boats, but I can see more of a popple this side. But I can see already where the crane berth is slightly ahead of us. I can actually already see that the water there is completely flat calm. So we just need to bear that in mind. So what I'll probably do is go up there, spin the boat. I know there's enough room to spin the boat, and then we'll just come alongside. So keep watching and see if I can park this triple engine Donzi like a professional. Let's give it a go. Okay, so we're just coming up here now. There's not a lot of room here, so I'm just going to use the wheel here to kick my bow around. Little bit of a head on there as well. So then I'm just going to look behind me. I'm going to wheel to starboard, and I'm going to use the outside engine to pull. Somebody mentioned to me at the boat show they like the fact where I talked about push-pull mentality. So I've got that outside engine now, so the very port outboard there. I've got hard to starboard on the wheel, and just look at how quick I'm turning around. That's it. I've got no bow thruster. If I do wheeled all the way to port now and use that engine, that starboard side one, what that's going to do is then just kick me bow around the other way. So I'm aiming at the centre of that pontoon because that's really where I want the boat to end up being. I want where I am to be effectively at that point. So what I'll do now, the boat's come around nice and slowly. I'll just keep that wheel hard to port for a minute, and I'll just actually aim at the pontoon. One of the things that Mark Taylor always taught me when I was driving the boat is don't be afraid, get to the pontoon. I think sometimes people get a bit nervous about getting too close to the pontoon and never actually get there. So they do the manoeuvre perfectly, but end up sort of being too far away from the pontoon. So I've got a bit of momentum now. I'm just going to wheel to starboard again. The wheel's a bit of resistance there, but it's not difficult. And what I'm going to do there, again, use that engine. And you can see already I've got a bit of momentum. I'm not going to need to do much here. I'm just going to straighten up the wheel a bit. We've got one of the chaps from the crane company here to help us. A little bit of both astern just to counteract that movement. A bit of that manoeuvre, and then we're in. So I'll just final manoeuvre for this boat here in Torquay. A bit sad really after all the years, this boat here, but we're now alongside, and we're going to get the guys just to. Well, we don't need to do anything really. I think they're going to lift us straight away. We've got a line there. Do you want that line on, or do you want us? You probably need it on. So we'll just stick this line up on the bow, just so the crane guys have got something to use to manipulate the boat in the air as it comes over. You all right? There you go. And that's it. So this is the last time this boat's ever going to be in the water in Torquay. Next stop, warmer climes in St Lucia. But we hope you've enjoyed watching this video. We will show you it in the air. We'll finish it off there. We're going onto the truck. So you can see the boat's now well in the air. I've got to stop saying so. I do apologise. Every time I start a new bit of video, I say so. I do apologise. So bring the boat round now. Hopefully they don't drop it. I'm sure they won't. But you can see there those 3 engines which we were just using. And they were actually fitted here in Torquay by the current owner. It's interesting, you can see where the boat was lifted last time. So it was on the pads. You can see where it wasn't anti-fouled. So you can see the difference the anti-foul makes where it's been sat on, not been painted, where those pads are. You see you've got one there. It's pretty impressive to show the where the anti-foul works. The boat was recoloured a few years ago. It used to be a red, and then it got changed to it being a black boat, which obviously probably looks a bit more modern. Take down here without falling in. So once the boat's up in the air there, don't know if they're washing it or not, I'm not quite sure. But then they'll just sort of start to steady it. So that's why they keep the bow and stern lines on, just so they can steady the boat when it's in the air. And then they can manipulate it using obviously it's a single point up there with the spreader bar, so they can actually spin the boat round or assist it. The crane can obviously turn round, but they can assist it coming round. They can get the boat quite low there, so I'll just give you a slight put in there. You see the trim tabs, the sort of race style trim tabs on the back there, and then the 3 engines all with the stainless props on. So all very cool bit of kit. It's a twin stepped hull assisting with that performance, and you see the deep, really deep V on that stern there. Great sea keeping abilities. I'm not sure if they're washing it. I'm not sure if it hasn't been discussed, but if they are, they'll just use the jet wash just to clean off the stern there, the outboards, and obviously those fittings underneath the boat. Right, so I think we've finished the video at that point. I'll keep the boat in shot as best as I can there in the background. We can't wait to see some pictures of this out in St Lucia. So if you're watching this, the new owner, please do send us some photos. We'd really appreciate that. It'd be great to see her out there. Hope she has a safe journey across the Atlantic. It's been a pleasure having the boat here and a pleasure dealing with this one. And we'll see you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We've got lots of content coming very soon, so keep watching.